Episode 7, Once a Voter, Always a Voter. Welcome back to my favorite voters. I'm Richard Bell. Thank you for being the most important part of voting for beginners. While you are no longer actually a beginner, it's already been 6 episodes. We'll move on to some advanced issues for the final 4 episodes. Now, as a committed voter, you bear the responsibility of every good citizen to participate in every election. Really? Of course, really, every election. Now, voting for president every 4 years is important. Voting for the House of Representatives every 2 years is also important. Voting for the Senate each time one of your senator's 6-year terms runs up, that's vital too. But that's not where your responsibility ends. It's where it begins. Your local mayor, town council, county executive, state legislators, school board, every single one of them, in addition to those national politicians, every single one deals with policies and issues that affect your everyday life. Jobs, education, health care, the environment, civil rights, war and peace, police procedures, infrastructure, minimum wage, the economy in general, and so much more. Decisions about every one of those issues and many more are made daily in your name by the women and men whose names appear on those ballots that you fill out when you vote. Your vote says yes or no to them and their policies. You and your fellow voters may have voted on questions listed on the ballot about financing new projects, expanding veterans' benefits, or legalizing marijuana. You have to say yes or no in those questions and those propositions, and then, once you voted, you had the final say. Every time there is an election, you have another chance to have your voice heard by choosing leaders or voting for or against government proposals that affect you, your children, neighbors, relatives, and friends. Once you start voting, you can't stop. New issues, new problems, new solutions, they don't stop. You have to continue to educate yourself about issues and candidates by reading from reliable, I said reliable, news organizations, attending town meetings, and discussing issues with the people you agree with and the people you don't agree with. Please, stop with the unverified social media so-called news. Verified, real news media outlets only. Social media's so-called news is often not real news. It is filled very often with rumors and half-truths and simply false stories. Verified, real news outlets like established newspapers, magazines, and other news organizations in their online form or in their printed form, those are real statements of fact. And once you have the real facts, that will let you make up your mind on who to vote for based on real facts. Verified, substantiated facts backed by reliable sources. You are now part of the we in We the People, the first 3 words of the preamble to the United States Constitution. Congratulations to my audience. You are now a voter we can count on to always participate. And just remember, I'll tell you a little story. There was a very heroic civil rights and voting rights leader from Mississippi. His name was Vernon F. Dahmer Sr. And because of his voting rights and civil rights activism, he was murdered on order of a Klansman in Mississippi in 1966. I want you to remember what Mr. Dahmer said very often, and it came to be the epitaph on his grave. It said, "If you don't vote, you don't count." So, once a voter, always a voter. What else can you do now? Well, you can watch and find out in episode 8. What should voters do to make voting just the beginning of being a good citizen? See you soon.